Hello, hello, hello. Welcome in. My name is Angel, and I've been on the practice for a while now to make more space for my natural soul's authentic expression. And I just want to thank anybody who's been watching these, keeping up with these, and, as curious as I am to see where this takes me, takes us, if you will. Something I've been contemplating a little bit is, okay. you know, now that I've been making space for my natural soul's expression, what am I finding so far? Where are we at? Just a quick little check-in. And I couldn't help but think like we are all just adventurers in life. Um, and I really just want to share my perspective and even more so, I think, get to know other people's perspective of what they see on the journey. What comes to my mind is I often is being on a hike and passersby are coming, or maybe you're with somebody and you get to talking, and all of our perceptions and life journeys and experiences are going to be absolutely different and yet the same in a lot of ways, right? It's quite fascinating. I mean, what started off as a way to kind of understand my circumstances and surroundings and life happenings became, and I think this is kind of a pattern with anybody who had it rough, if you will, growing up. We get so fascinated by why people do the things that they do, and we want to know why. We want to understand, right? And that there's I don't think there's anything bad in that. But what I am kind of feeling about that whole thing is no amount of knowing why takes away any of the any of the feelings, negative, positive, good, bad, ugly, all of it. It doesn't take away the feelings, right? And then even more so, it to me, what's coming to fruition is like it really doesn't matter what has happened in the past. This is after I've found some understanding, learned a little bit about the key players in my circumstances, learned about, their history, their upbringing. I have empathy and sympathy and understanding and compassion for all. So so back then when people were saying just get over it and move on, it was very difficult. And now I think I found myself at a place where I can and have truly forgiven and let go of past pains. What I think is absolutely fascinating is over the past few years, I've really discovered new identities within myself. New identities. I've been able to, with the help of my wellness team and my care team and my community, um, really feel safe enough to step into versions of myself that I quite frankly thought were inaccessible, were not meant for me. That being said, I'm on a newfound I'm in transition. I'm not quite who I've been and I'm not quite who I am, and I know a lot of people can resonate with that. I've said before that in multiple instances, you can be fearful of the unknown. And, our work is to kind of transmute that energy into something of excitement and anticipation and awe and joy and wonderment, which is quite difficult. Which is quite difficult. We can say it with such confidence. Oh, just transmute the energy, right? But we're so stimulated. If it's not one screen, it's another. If it's not one fan, traffic, babies crying, boss is calling. coworkers asking, husbands, siblings, our own internal dialogue and thoughts and anticipation for the future, the anxieties, the depression. Fuck the rejection, the inadequacy, whatever, the negative stuff and even the positive stuff. Like, I'm embarking on a lot of exciting things and still there's still things to work on. I want to learn how to celebrate my wins. That's something I'm working on. But goodness gracious, like I spend a lot of time feeling grounded, feeling certain, feeling confident, feeling sure. This is after, some practice. I think it takes time, it takes consistency, right? But now I can feel the difference in my body of it being imbalanced, but in my favor. My energetic, my sister goes, homeostasis. My roommate said that the other day too. Your homeostasis, right? My baseline is more of the goodness that I've been seeking and working and been devoted to cultivating just to see if it was fucking possible in someone's life that had turbulence in such high degrees. I wanted to see if confidence, if groundedness, if magnetism, if joy, if beauty, if love. That's how my journey kind of started. And I'm here to say, yes, it does. And it is hard to transmute the energy. It can be difficult. I feel inclined to share what happened energetically over the last 2 days, but I'm also grappling with this thing of like talking too much, like oversharing. So I don't know where to start. Oh, okay, let's breathe and get silent since that's the name of the game, right? Okay. Environments are extremely important. Who you surround yourself by is extremely important. Finding systems and routines that allow you to, one, keep energies that aren't for you at bay while also taking care of your own energy, energy protection, nurturing, tuning in and just listening, grounding, fulfilling your needs, right? And still showing up for the world too. So it's a three-parter. It's a three-parter. Feeling how negative energies can, in fact, affect you. That's going to look, sound, feel different for everybody. For me, it's like a drop in the stomach. I'm like, you know? So guarding ourselves from those things, having to still show up in the world where those things clearly exist. Oh, um, and taking time to take care of one's energy and self. It's a three-parter. Where do you find time to cultivate a three-parter practice that, only says that, I'm sorry, I'm losing my train of thought. I need to turn this other, I don't know why that's even on. In a world where it is very overstimulated, how does one pick up a three-parter and probably more parter practice that only says that it promises groundedness, peace, authenticity, inner strength, inner trust, and inner security, you know? And then that added piece of we live in this hustle culture. If it doesn't pay me for my time, then why do I even bother, right? It's like, where the fuck, how do people get grounded within the realm of chaos? And so, I mean, what had happened to me is I was thrown out of alignment, absolutely shaking from a place where my day had started in such beautiful alignments and synchronicities and opportunities and gifts and amazing things were coming in. I got a new client. I mean, it was just fantastic. It was fantastic. And then later on, I got thrown out of alignment and I could viscerally see how I was viscerally anyways how I was showing up in the world, very like paranoid, and who is that and how do I look and how is that being perceived. I was like, oh my gosh, just a vast difference, right? A vast difference. And I did not like it. I didn't like how I was perceiving myself. I didn't like how I was perceiving others. I didn't like how I was moving through the world. And so I went home, and there's a lot of changes happening in my particular home. So So, so we're both a little dysregulated, my roommate and I. We're both can find anxiety pretty easy. And this is why it's important that your environments matter. So I came home and I was alone and I wanted to cleanse the space and try to just wiggle this energy out. I did some shaking, I did the sound bowl, I did all these things, and then it dawned on me, Angel, the way that you transmute the energy is to be still. Everyone's going to move through. How do I say this? Gosh darn it. Gosh darn it. That's my dad speaking. Everyone has different ways that they need to move through energy, big energy, right? I have people who, we kind of talked about it, I think, in another video, or am I having deja vu? But you exhaust the body, right? Get some of that energy out. This is going to sound a little messed up, but it's kind of the same for a dog. When you want them to behave, or if we're learning new tricks as far as like training goes, then you go and you exercise them first so that the brain is a little fatigued and will pick up these things a little easier without overthinking, without the anxiety, without the what are we doing? Too much excess energy. So yes, exhaust the body in one way, shape, or form, and then be still. There are answers in the stillness. And it was quite a beautiful night. There's like a piece of me that wants to go, so I did and this could work for you. And I also just want to like talk about how it worked for me so you can really feel it. And in the name of resonance, I think I'm going to try that way just to see how I feel about this new lesson I'm learning about like practicing a little more silence. Yeah. So when I got into that point of stillness and I was just breathing in, I could feel my body buzzing. Again, that anxiety shows up in my body, buzzing, a little heavy in the tummy, right? A little tightness in the chest, right? And so I sat down and I started to breathe. And I admitted I didn't skate over the emotions. I admit it. I'm scared. I don't know what's to come and I'm scared. I'm scared. It is quite beautiful because I could feel the body go whoosh. I'm getting emotional. It was instant. I said, I'm scared. I don't know what's to come. I don't know where I'm supposed to be. I don't know my place in it, in any of it. And I am scared. And I don't know if it's because I've been doing the inner child healing, I've been going to therapy, I've been like, you know how you can make juice from a concentrate, right? Does anybody remember the frozen cans of juice concentrate from the 2000s? Well, have you ever like licked one or taken some with your spoon? It's so potent because it's the concentrate, right? And so I don't know if it's because I've been like really experiencing my own life force energy, my own love at such a concentrated level because I'm not tending to a man, I'm not tending to, you know, I'm very the word isolated came up, the word independent comes up, the word lonely comes up. So all three of those things. I find myself alone a lot these days. And that happens when I start to uh, grow and shift identities. And we don't have to get into why that feels very lonely from time to time in this video, but I am curious about a few things in that nature. My point is, as soon as I got still and I admitted that I was scared and I don't know what's to come, I don't know my place in all of the things that I stated before, one, my body was able to like, and two, with all the work that I've been doing, my internal dialogue, my spirit, my soul, I tap because she's kind of talking right now in a sense, but it's still my, I don't know. I don't know what that is. But it got real quiet and she goes, I know you're scared. I said, I know you're scared. And I've been really visualizing what a good mom or a loving mom or a softer mom. It's part of the practice, right? Visualizing what a trusted and safe adult would say to you in that moment. And she said, I know you're scared, but I have you. You are here now. You're safe now. I have you. And here's the interesting piece, too. She said, It's okay to be scared. Ow, sorry. Oh my God. She said, It's okay to be scared. In fact, she said, ultimately, she's like, It makes sense that you're scared. Given my current circumstance and where this beautiful life is, has brought me and where it's about to take me, I I should be scared. I should be scared. I could feel myself kind of melting into my own arms, if you will, melting into her arms, if you will. And then I tapped into these routines that I've been really working on. So I know that where I need to start energetically, once I'm like at that baseline, okay, that's what this is. This is fear. Fear of the unknown, fear of, yeah, just fear of the unknown. I'm like, okay, this is fear. So I sat in that for a second. I validated myself in that moment. And then I started to tap into my gratitude. Yes, I'm scared, and I'm extremely grateful for all my needs in this current moment are being met. I'm grateful that I'm safe. I'm grateful that I am sheltered. I'm grateful that I'm nourished. I have food in my belly. I'm grateful for my community. Um, and with every piece of gratitude, this momentum, just little, ting, little flicker of a light right where that anxiety was, maybe even still kind of was, a little light, little warmth. And so I just kind of, I know better. So I kept going. I'm grateful for my work. I'm grateful for my friends. I'm grateful for beauty. I'm grateful for flowers. I'm grateful for nature. I'm grateful. Just kept going and going and going. Then out of the blue, not out of the blue, the natural progression is like, well, the natural progression for me, because I've been working on my internal dialogue, reparenting my inner child, is Angel, I'm so fucking proud of you. Oh, uh, Angel, I'm so fucking proud of you. I find myself doing things day in and day out that little me would be so proud of. I have love beyond in my life that little angel who all she wanted to was to belong, but as her true authentic self, I have that on so many different levels. And I just kept pulling evidence that I've always been protected, provided for, and it's going to be okay. Then I started catching things on like compassion and empathy for someone in my life who's going through similar changes. And at first, I was like, Angel, keep your thoughts to yourself. You're too, because I was coming out of a deep-seated fear-based, anxiety-based thing. And so the internal dialogue was like, Angel, keep your thoughts to yourself, your thoughts of appreciation and encouragement to yourself. You've done a lot today. You don't want to be too much. It'll be coming out of the blue. Just overthinking how I was going to be received and perceived. So I go, okay, I'm not going to say anything. Go back into my meditation. And the love for this person got bigger and bigger and bigger because what I have to say is fucking true. So I ended up saying it. I went out there and I go, you know what? Do you have a minute? I'm like, I just want to tell you how proud I am of you. And I know that when you and I are dysregulated, we need to have space because we have a tendency, environments matter, right? We have a tendency to bring each other down and just maximize our crash outs. And I said, but that was then, and I'm realizing we're both dysregulated now, and I don't want to fall into those same patterns. So I went and I got in alignment just enough to find my awe and wonderment for you. Do you know how brave it is to go through what you're going through? And I kind of I'm feeling called to say this to you if you're watching this right now. It doesn't really matter what you're going through. It doesn't matter. Do you know how brave it is to do what you are doing right now? To decide if something works for you or doesn't, and to pursue even better or what you think is better because you don't know until you know, and then you can pivot if you need to. But even to take a chance to break away. If you know, you know. In a world that is constantly telling us to stay small, play small, keep shrinking, you're too much, you're not enough, you're unlovable, you're not doing enough. This applies to everybody. Mom guilt, teenagers just trying to keep their hearts in this world, but needing to plan for their people at jobs that they hate, people who are figuring it out and going back to school, people who know that art is their passion. People who don't know that art is their passion. Do you know how brave you are to just ask questions and take steps and to become knowledgeable and take risks? It's unbelievable. And I see you. I see you because I am you. Gosh, the other concept that's been rolling around in my mind is we are all one. That has taken me a while to grasp due to being told we're all different and everybody pointing out our differences. And my survival mode will definitely, have a magnifying glass on differences just to try and keep myself safe and make sure that I'm, treating others safely and being safe and all the things, making room for everybody else's differences. But we are all the same. I'll tell you. Okay, here's something fucking crazy. Excuse my language. The same way that my spirit heard me, I was able to say, I am scared. I don't know what's to come and I am scared. And nothing happened, right? I wasn't met with judgment, criticism, hate, Well, what the fuck do you have to be scared of? Da 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 da. Da. Right? I had conversations with a 3-year-old yesterday, a gentleman who spoke no English and I don't speak Spanish, an angsty teenager, um, someone whose baseline, her go-to big emotion is anger. And then later on, tend to myself. And I will tell you what, the conversations, my role in all those conversations was exactly the same. How? I'll tell you. Thank you for asking. Toddler crying over his sister not being present. He's crying over not getting what he wants. Instead of just saying, "You're okay, let's put the ABCs on," because he really loves when I sing the ABCs in an operatic form. Iconic, by the way. But the way that I need to be doing vocal warm-ups at 3 o'clock in the morning is unfair for that. That's how you know I love you. That's how you know I love you. Anyhow, crying over what he wants, instead of bypassing him and his emotions, I put my hand on his knee and I said, "You're sad, huh?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "It's okay to be sad. I would be sad too. You love your sister." He goes, "I love sister." I said, "Sister's on spring break, so she won't be coming with us today, but next week she'll be back on board. That will be fun, won't it?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "I'm sorry that I don't have a better way of explaining this to you because I didn't. I didn't have a better way to explain it to him. I often don't. That's my brain is wired for clear and concise communication, but also I see this piece in my communication style that I'm working on, this need to over explain, this need to be understood. What the is that? I do know what that is. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. Then maybe these videos won't be so effing long, right? Anyhow, when I said, "I'm sorry, I don't know a better way to explain this," he goes, "It's okay." And I giggled because it was so sweet. So when I giggled, he giggled. I said, "It's okay to be sad. I love your sister too." And then I saw a rose bush. I said, "Do you think his daycare teacher would love a rose?" He goes, "Yeah." And so I run out, I cut a rose, bring it. He's smelling the rose the whole way there. We're singing our ABC song. We didn't bypass, we didn't skate. We acknowledge. So what we did do was acknowledged what was really going on, held space for that, and then explain like, "I know you're sad, but I am with you and it will be better soon. You you have every right to be sad now and it will be better soon." Right? Okay. Cue to the gentleman who could not speak a lick of English and I'm brown, but I'm a Cali kid and I have not. Now, here's the thing. I have not made time and space to learn a new language. So there's me taking accountability for being so one dimensional. Anyhow, something had happened and now we're in conversation. And all I could do was just be a grounded energy and speak to him with my eyes. I spoke with my words, yes, but it was more your mannerisms, your eyes, and hey, do you know da 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 da? And it was so nice. And he's getting a little frustrated that he doesn't speak. And I just stood firm. I said, hey, it's okay that we don't speak the same language. I said, I see you like that. I see you, you know? And he goes, and we were able to not only exchange like lemons from his tree, but make a transaction over a weight set that my friend was interested in. And then I offered to help him cut some more lemons off the tree to make buckets for the road. He said no, but still, we were able to communicate. And it was just so nice to be able to slow the fuck down, slow down, acknowledge and see, sit in that with him and move from there together. Same as the 3-year-old, the angsty teen. Anyways, same with the angsty teen. Same with the my my friend who has the baseline of anger or the go-to big emotion is anger. It was interesting. I just had to stand firm in who I was and empathetically listen and imagine. That must be hard. Me getting sucked into their stuff was not going to help. I swear to God, like the I'm getting wrapped up. But the best gift that we can give ourselves and each other is a soothed nervous system. We ended up enjoying our ride. I got free lemons and a friend. The teen trusts me. I was able to hold a safe and trusted space for my friend. And then later on, I actually called when I was activated another friend of mine, but he needed me in that moment. And as he started to describe his day, horrendous, by the way, absolutely horrendous. I wouldn't wish it on anybody. This is where this piece of silence comes in. I didn't get the gravity of the situation at first, and me being dysregulated, it was like jokey, jokey, surface level. Hey, do you have space for me? But like, I don't really want to talk about it, right? And then he started to describe his day. And I remember wanting to jump in with like, oh my God, this person didn't do that, and that person didn't do that, and which we all can do, right? Jump in, double dutch into these conversations where I realized a big piece. It's something I do on autopilot, but it's not something that really like clocked until last night. I shut up and I let him speak. He had a really good grasp on his experience and the inner workings of the mechanics of the why he does what he does, why what happened had happened, how it could be avoided, all the things, but he just needed to like exit, get that out of the body. And here's what's interesting. I didn't take it on. So that's what I'm talking about, transmuting all of this energy. So it's a three-parter. Again, I'm going to go back to it, the three-parter. Oh gosh. When I'm able to know what groundedness feels like in the body, this is what groundedness feels like in my body. My tummy is soft. There's no constriction. My shoulders are soft and dropped. There's no tension in the face. Airways and pathways are clear. But more importantly, not more importantly at all is important. My presence is here. It's nowhere else. Taking a few breaths in this moment of realizing that I am nowhere else, I'm here, sends signals throughout my mind and my body that I am safe to soften here and now. But that allows me to show up for my people in such a way where I can be extremely present for them. And similar to what I was able to give myself in that moment of I am scared and I don't know where I'm going. It's okay that you are scared. It's okay that you don't know where you're going. You have every right to be scared. The world is overstimulated. There's so much to be fearful of. But this is why being grounded is so important. So we can show up for ourselves in the way that we actually need it. And we can give the gift of the soothed nervous system. So, what could the beginning practices, stage one of learning these grounded skills look like for you? Sometimes I like to suggest setting the timer for 15 to 30 seconds. 15 to 30 seconds. Who does not have 15 to 30 seconds in a day? And you don't even need to have this intention of, oh, I want to be clean and clear. Silent for 15 to 30 seconds. Let's try it. Fuck it for science. Let's go. Let's see. Starting now. Perfect. It's actually 20 seconds. And perhaps when you realize that you can stay quiet for a short amount of time, the next time you go to sit down and do it, set the timer and place your hand on your heart and simply take a deep breath. In for 2, out for 6. When it comes to the chaos and the overstimulations and our trials and tribulations and our traumas and complications, I often see a, um, a circular pool, and you're making like a whirlpool with your friends. And eventually, the current is so stinking strong, it's really just pulling you along. You're floating. And I grew up with brothers, so eventually I could just put my feet up and just float. All of the worries of the world has us floating, feeling like we have little to no control over anything, feeling helpless, feeling hopeless, feeling fearful, feeling inadequate, feeling less than, feeling unworthy, feeling uncared for, feeling unsafe. We're in this whirlwind of autopilot day by day, doing the same thing because society has deemed that normal. I'm not here to say that this is easy work. I'm here to say that it's fucking worth it. What happens when you shout to the pool, okay, other direction? And everybody turns around to face the opposite. So, the opposite way of the current. Does the water just go whoosh, whoosh, like a cartoon? No. Imagine it. What happens? You're faced with so much resistance that you gotta fight for it. You have to fight for this. In the beginning, it's rough, it's turmoil, it's uncomfortable. It's like I call it the day one energy, right? Like, for instance, like when you go to the gym for the first day, shit is hard. You don't know what to do. You don't know what the machines are doing. You have your social anxiety. You're afraid to be perceived. You don't know if you're doing it right. You're freaking the fuck out, right? And everything's hard and everything's shaking. And you can hardly even get the first rep up. Like, and you're like, who's watching me, right? And am I doing this right? And is my form okay? And all the thing, am I hydrated? Oh, let me get the song right, right? It's just too much. It's just so much. But I'm here to say that if you can decide that the peace, that the alignment, that the joy and the version of yourself is worth it on the other side. Find something that's going to keep you showing up. That consistency, that discipline, that devotion, that devotion. Oh, that devotion starts to come in the form of the fruition comes in the form of little synchronicities, things getting easier and lighter. The whirlpool starts to kind of turn the direction, right? Next thing you know, you feel stronger, you feel lighter, you feel a little more balanced. So then you show up a little more kind, a little more of a smile, or maybe just less of a frown, right? And somebody happens to notice an outfit. You happen to see a blue butterfly. Blue butterflies are your favorite. You happen to see 444. You happen to just be talking about something with somebody and happen to spend it out. Like all of a sudden, things start a moving. I look like a little witch. Things start moving. And then what happens is you start to collect evidence from, oh, see, I see when I did do my deep breathing this morning, I was able to walk out of my house a little more calm. When I broke for a dance party before I left the house, I walked out a little more playful. When I did drink water instead of being reactive right there, I was able to stop and listen to what she had to say and really understand rather than react to what I thought she said, right? Little by little, poco a poco. I'm giggling because what I'm hearing right now is like, see, Angel, and you were out of alignment last night, just wondering, who am I? Where am I gonna go? And I'm not making fun of myself for all those things. Those things are fucking valid. It's a crazy time in my life. And yet, and yet, look at what I've been able to accomplish thus far. Look at what I'm doing. Like, what even am I doing on YouTube? Holy Toledo. Like, Not that this is like successful in whatever everybody else is defining success, but for me, this is like healing visibility wounds. This is, finding my voice, finding who I am out here in the ether. And who knows where it's going to lead, but like these are the baby steps. This is the messy middle. This is the in between. We talked about day one energy. This is day two, day three, four, five, six. I think there's like 20 of these things up here now. You know what I mean? The messy middle. Necessary, authentic, genuine, real. This is the work. This is the Mandalorian comes in. This is the way. And that's not saying like you have to do what I do and that's what's going to happen. I'm just saying like, wow, these things are a really great like starting point. If you don't know where to start, this could be a good starting point. And then like you start to learn who you really are, what you need for your avatar body and your divinely aligned soul. And that just circles all the way back to this newfound understanding of like we're just adventurers on this path, on this journey of life, and here to share perspectives and stories and love and resources and community and yeah, be each other's keeper. And sometimes we ask ourselves, how is that done? Yesterday was a really great example that it kind of is a one size fits all. You're big, you have big feelings right now. That is okay. I'm not going anywhere. No, I'm here with you and we'll move forward together. And and then I realized too, a boundary that needs to be said is like, if you don't have the capacity to hold someone in their stuff, figure out who their support system is. And if you don't have the capacity to hold your stuff, figure out who your support system is. I never finished the story of going out and telling my person that um, I think they're being brave and I think this is big work. Because then she was like, I could feel her stuff drop. That's just it. Humans just want to be seen, heard, and understood, and loved and accepted. But the cliche phrase, it does start with us. Sorry. But the joy is I don't have to love myself completely to be loved and accepted by others. I just have to start. Just start little by little. Set the timer for the 30 seconds. Little by little. Little by little, you love yourself. Little by little, you love others, and you can be loved. More, 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 more. Life is a mirror. I'm realizing just as what is internal, going on internally, is happening externally now. I can see it and I can feel it. And now I'm kind of proud to say, like, I don't need to know. I've never known. I've never known where this life is going to take me. Ah, I've never known. And yet I couldn't ask for a better version of myself, better experience of myself, better of anything. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. And I'm really thrilled too because I'm choosing to harness. So I transmute that like lower vibrational energy that had me in the muck, right? And it's got me kind of higher vibration now. I'm choosing, my choice is to put that back out into the world, even just by standing firm and embodying, not even like doing anything, just being. Um, holy crapola. What? Holy crapola. Love it. Whatever. Every single person I come across, every single room I enter, and every single conversation I have expands, brightens, loves, and is moved and opened. This wasn't to radiate, to radiate sunshine wasn't like in my 5-year plan or life. I mean, I guess it was because here I am, but Oh, baffled. I'm shook. I'm shooketh. My friend goes, "What are you, a witch?" I just maybe, but I'm a good witch. I'm a good witch. Yeah. She said it goes with your name. Or this was my sister. It goes with your name, Angel. I just giggle. So, yeah, maybe who knows? Who knows? All right. I think I'm gonna leave it there. Let me get quiet and see if there's anything else that needs to come up for us today. This was a lot. This was a lot. I hope you get what you need. That's all I gotta say. Feel free to watch these on like 2x too. I because I am very intentional on wanting to be present and be my authentic self, and this is the practice. It's not something that I'm well versed in. It's been, you know, a year. I still take my time. I have weird awkward pauses like I am an awkward human, which is okay, but this is the practice, right? So feel free to watch these on 2x. I think that's it. Thank you. I love you. I love you so much. You're being brave. There's absolutely nothing you can't do. Truly. And when an idea hits, that's yours. Take your time, start small, find your tribe, and bring your loved ones with you. You don't have to do it in isolation like I do. You don't have to be alone. You know, you might be a mom who has children. You might be a leader in your community. You might be a husband, married. You know, you might have parents that are present in your life. You might have and you might be connected to so many people. And this is it. This is my gift. It's like this is my gift to you so we can all start serving our communities better, not in martyrdom, but like in a celebration of life. Okay. I think that's it. All right. Have an excellent day.